Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the story of Prophet Jonah or Eunice. He was born in North Iraq in a town called Nainawa. At the time of Prophet Jonah, the population of that town was 120,000 people, which is very large, especially by the standards of that time. Even in today's standards, this is still not a small town. This number is mentioned in the Quran in Surah As-Saffat, verse 147. Prophet Jonah also had couple other names in the Quran. One of them is called Dhannun, or the companion of the whale. All these names are in reference to his experience with the whale. Jonah made a persistent and intense effort to invite people to worship the one and only God. They resisted and insisted on worshiping idols. His folks told him the same statement we heard before: get us God's punishment if you are truthful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Jonah the punishment is coming in 3 days. And he relayed that information to his folks. So he told his folks that you will be wiped out in 3 days, just like the communities before you who did not believe their prophets and insisted on worshiping idols. They made fun of him and paid no attention to his threats. That angered and frustrated him a good bit. So he decided to leave town. He left town without permission from God. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, he left town angry and thought we would not give him a hardship, a calamity, or a punishment of some sort. This is in verse 87 in Surah Al-Anbiya. So Jonah did not think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would punish him because his folks are going to be punished in 3 days anyway, and they continued to ridicule him and make fun of him, so he decided to leave town. However, prophets and messengers do not and are not supposed to move around randomly. They are chosen, and every move they make is planned and is done for a purpose. So he should have waited for the orders and instructions from God. In any case, the signs of the punishment started. Clouds and smoke started to appear, so the folks of the town looked for Jonah to see if are these the signs of our punishment, but they couldn't find him. So they gathered and started to recall the stories of the communities and towns that were destroyed in the past. So they knew about these stories, but they were just too infatuated with their sins and enamored with worshiping idols. So now they started to believe that the punishment is inevitable, and even Jonah left town. They were hoping that at least he would remain in town, so maybe God would spare them because of his presence. So they all decided on a very interesting reaction, something that we have not seen in any of the past stories. And inshallah, next time we will discuss that interesting reaction. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.